When we first created the Notre Dame Prize for Religious Liberty, we wanted to recognize those who've dedicated their careers to religious freedom. The fight for religious liberty is seeing victory after victory, but those victories would never have been possible without the scholarship and the thought leadership of Michael McConnell.
Michael McConnell is the most influential scholar of religion and the Constitution of my generation, and he's one of the most distinguished legal scholars in the entire country and of any generation.
He really is a figure of historical import.
It's very rare in the whole history of American law to find a person who has achieved real distinction in all three of the main branches of the profession: legal scholarship, the judiciary, and advocacy before the courts. Michael McConnell achieved that trifecta of distinction in a way that I don't think has been equaled by anybody.
Michael McConnell brought clarity and direction to our understanding of the Constitution of the United States, particularly the religion clauses of the First Amendment.
When Michael started out, the Establishment Clause was in complete disarray.
As I went into teaching at the University of Chicago, and the first big article I wrote was based upon what I had been thinking about. And so I presented my theory about how to understand the Establishment Clause in an article called Accommodation of Religion.
And he patiently but relentlessly made the case that we should return to the pre-Everson understanding, to the older, richer understanding of the place of religion in American public life.
His academic work made a crucial contribution by telling people that the free exercise and the no establishment clauses are not at odds with one another. They're really complementary. They both serve to protect the freedom of religion.
One of the key moves he made was going back to the history and saying, look, this is not what the founders meant to put religion in a corner. They saw religion as part of society and an integral part of society.
A constant theme in Professor McConnell's work has been the importance of respecting pluralism. Even people who don't believe or who aren't people of faith, they benefit from living in a legal system where the government respects the liberty of conscience, the freedom of deepest beliefs, the ability to be integrated and to live out your deepest commitments in public life.
This is a page from a first edition pulpit Bible of the King James Version. It's what's called the judicial passage. What doeth the Lord require of thee but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God? Seems like about as good advice as you can find for a judge, since it blends both justice and mercy, but also is a warning about not letting it go to your head.
Professor McConnell has, in addition to serving as a law professor and legal scholar, served as a judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. He was widely considered, when he was a bit younger, to be a leading candidate for appointment to the Supreme Court, and I'm among those who wish that would have happened.
Judge McConnell wrote many different opinions that are still ones that I cite all the time, because they really have a kind of clarity and a kind of staying power that will cross across decades.
People ask me all the time why I left the court. I enjoyed being a judge. I partly came back to academia because of teaching. I think there's some academics who would really think that teaching is the price they pay for being able to work on their work. I don't feel that way. The teaching is the best part of it. I love the students.
Michael's lasting contributions will certainly include the students that he's formed, the future lawyers, the future judges, the future law professors.
He was central to the founding of the Religious Liberty Clinic at Stanford, which is the original religious liberty clinic of any law school in the country, and served as a model for our religious liberty clinic here at Notre Dame.
The Stanford Religious Liberty Clinic and the clinics that followed would not have existed but for the influence and the vision of Professor McConnell.
I think that these clinics help put the future of religious freedom on a much more secure and promising
track.
There's a reason why Professor McConnell's classes are oversubscribed every year. He has the heart of a teacher and someone who demands a lot from his students, and they respond.
He has this Olympian intellect, but it comes packaged with someone who is really kind and fair and thoughtful and faithful to his principles.
He is the essence of sweet reason and a razor-sharp intellect and courtesy.
He's able to engage other points of view in a sympathetic manner, which means that his work never comes across as ideologically partisan. And that's a man who cares more about truth than he does about his own opinions. And boy, do we need scholars and judges who are like that.
This is a really appropriate time to be honoring Professor McConnell because we are seeing the fruits of so much of his academic work and the fruits of so much of his legal advocacy in the expansion of educational choice and educational opportunity in this country. And that really couldn't have happened if the law hadn't moved, and Michael McConnell played a huge role in getting that law to move in the right direction.
There are very few people who have had the impact, the beneficial impact on the lives of others that Michael McConnell has. And yet, I'm not sure that he recognizes how much he means to us, to the rest of the world. And I think that our awarding of the Notre Dame Prize for Religious Liberty is one small way in which we can tell him that he has meant a lot to us and to the world.